Yes guys, I hope you're all well and welcome back to another video. In this video I've got the Audi TTRS here in Nardo Grey, courtesy of Audi UK Press, and I'm going to be asking the question, is this a good enough replacement for my BMW M2 over the M240? Let's get straight into it. Okay, so guys, the first thing we've got to acknowledge that this thing does look like an absolute weapon. It is an Audi's signature Nardo Grey colour, which for me is probably one of the best colours in Audi's range, but whether I would have got an Audi TTRS in it, I'm not really sure. Probably Tango Red to match the calipers, which is an option as well in red, probably would have been my cup of tea. But yeah, nonetheless, we have to admit, it definitely looks like an absolute weapon. So moving around to the rear, guys, you can see why this is classed as the baby R8. It's not exactly the widest car in the world, but it has a few similarities with the normal R8, even though these don't do much, but don't worry about that. But there is a lovely LED tail light which is integrated into the boot over here, which looks insane when you are on the brakes. But we're not at the back for that. The main thing we're at the back for is those. So these oval tailpipes make some serious sound, and this is an option from Audi. This is classed as the RS exhaust, so the sport exhaust. Make sure you definitely tick that box if you are speccing your TTRS. So nonetheless, we cannot deny this thing looks like an absolute beast. However, like I said earlier, I would get this car in Tango Red, which for me is one of Audi's best colours. And I actually had their, what did I have? I had the S3. Yes, I had the S3 in Tango Red and it looked insane. These have to go. I'm sorry, these have to go. There is an option to get the black styling pack, and I know you've got silver wheels and silver caps, but you need to break it up a bit more. And if you've got a black grille, which is notorious with the RS range, when you have the honeycomb grille, you have to go for the black styling pack, which would give you a bit more black. So you'd get black mirror caps, and the ends of this lovely spoiler would be black as well. So that's what I would do, but again, each to their own. And like I said, there are different specs. You could have this spec, which is just classed as the coupe, or you could have the TTRS Sport Edition or the TTRS Vorsprung Edition, which is definitely what I would do if I could afford this car, because this car sits at 60k on the road. Whether it's worth it, I don't know. But yeah, let's dive into the inside. Okay, so let's not mince our words here, guys. Audi's interior cannot be beaten. Sure, Mercedes is great, and again, I would probably say the same thing about Mercedes, but there's something about the quality and just how everything's put together which really makes you think that you're sitting in something special. In terms of the interior though, a few things I'm not a fan of. So you can spec this in either red or blue, and you can see it follows these seats, which are the wingback seats, which are absolutely insane. And you can see if you opt for the red, you get red in here, red along here, and red over there. And I'm not sure if you get it on the red on the seats, which again are really comfortable and really plush. But this part here has to be carbon. I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest fan of carbon. I think in cars like this, it warrants being in a car like this, but this silver bit here, I'm not really a fan of it. And you can see it also is over here on the handles, and it's something that I'm not a big fan of. It just kind of cheapens the interior when you look at how much Alcantara you've got on the knob, and it's just, okay, never mind. But yeah, this part here for me has to be in carbon, and those of you that are speccing one, I'm quite sure you'd probably agree, the silver just doesn't match. You've got to think how nice and dark this car is on the interior, and then you just got this big bright silver thing here in the middle. So yeah, that's something for me that doesn't really warrant its place in this car. A quick positive while we're here, the B&O system in this car is insane. If there wasn't copyright laws, guys, I'd crank up some music and tell you, this is the best system I've ever heard in a car. It's insane. I don't know how they've managed to do this, but the sound pack is definitely something that I implore you to get on your car. The virtual cockpit and Audi are probably the best in the game when it comes to this and how they've merged it all in. However, one thing I'm not a fan of is once you do plug your phone in, I haven't got my phone plugged in currently, once you do plug your phone in and you switch to Apple Maps, or Google Maps rather, and you activate the CarPlay, you won't be able to have this design. It would go back into a wide view, and then you'd have it in the middle. So I'll overlay some shots. So as soon as you want to just have this view, which for me is probably one of the best when you're going for a proper hoon, because it flashes. I don't know if it will do it now, but yeah, it won't do it now, but this bit here, the 5.6, they all light up green and yellow, and it really looks really, really cool. And not that you need it, but it just kind of, it's where it should be. It's where it should be, but once you do have CarPlay connected, you cannot have this display. It's a little minor issue, but it's nothing to stop you from buying the car, but that's something I have noticed. In terms of rear seats, I don't know who would be sitting in the back there, but obviously they don't have a head. Rear seats, that's your space. That's your space. I'm gonna actually jump in the back and see if I can fit in there, but I'm quite sure I can't. And I stand at 5'11", so yeah, it's a little bit tight still. No, all jokes aside, the flat bottom steering wheel, again, notorious with Audi's RS range. The feeling of it is perfect. And again, like I said, it is on the gear stick as well. So it just really has that prestige luxury feel, at the same time being an absolute beast without the need to have loads of chavvy bits on it. But yeah, this for me is a dream. But yeah, enough talk. Let's see how it drives. Okay, so we are out in the Audi TTRS. This is a 2.5 5-cylinder engine, putting out 400 brake horsepower and 480 Newton meters of torque. So 480 Newton meters, that's that big shove that you get when you plant your foot down. Third gear, greasy conditions, but we've got quattro baby. It's instant. That is something that I've got to say. When you have this quattro, there's no hoo-ha, there's no fancy bit of movement on the rear. It's just point it, not an apex because you're on the public road, but point it in the direction you want to go, from 30, 40, just like that. And any bend that you get towards, you know you've got quattro, so point it in, wait for it, national speed limit, open it out. And something I think Audi have really got right is I've yet to encounter oversteer. And like I said, I've done quite a few miles in this car, and there's no understeer. Again, second gear, third, gripping. Wow, it's a decent little package. Decent is probably an understatement. It's a great little package. Now, a little gripe I've noticed, so I don't know what it is, whether it's the lag, or say if I just slap the little gearbox there, give it a little slapped it back into drive, which is S when you're in dynamic mode, and like for instance here, we're doing 23 mile an hour, so just below the speed limit, quite a bit below the speed limit. And if I put my foot down, wait for it, now it comes in, and now it's at 30, but it's very weird that it has that, because I would have thought, you know what, this is something that they've had in nearly every single RS model from day one. So they had it in the 8P RS3, they've got it in the RSQ3. It's just a bit, not annoying, but it's something that I've noticed, and it's not lag, I don't know what it is, but it's like, even though it's in S3, the national speed limit here, if I put my foot down, it takes a little while before second gear it drops down to second gear. And these S-tronic DSG gearboxes were known to be probably the best when it comes to shifting, so I'm not really sure who, what, when, how has fiddled with it, because I do know that these are notorious. Maybe because this is quite brand new, it's only done about 2,000 miles on the clock, so maybe it hasn't worn in yet, or it's still calibrating, but it's something I have noticed. But we whack it back to the left, we're in full manual now, and shift down into second, holding 4,000 RPM and go again. Oh man, this thing here, something else, man. Wow. So as I said earlier, this is the 2.5 litre, 5-cylinder notorious RS engine that Audi put in their free range. That's the RS3, the RSQ3 rather, and they just always manage to make it sound. So I know the ASD is quite intrusive, but that sound there, it's like oh, I don't know what to call it, but it's a very unique sound. I would go as far as calling it a howling Hoover. You know when you have a Hoover and you turn it on, that sound? This is like a Hoover howl. That's going to be the new word. So I think I've always got to find two words that match, and it's a howl. So it's not a wolf howl, like, ooh, it's more for a hoover. Like, listen to it again. Those of you that you definitely can, you'll definitely be able to capture it. Let's just get through here quickly. Take your time, take your time. Listen to the hoover. You're hoovering up the rubbish and hoover up more, hoover up more. It's a howling hoover. Oh my gosh, you ain't got quattro. No, let's not laugh, let's not laugh. He ain't got quattro, I hope he's fine, but mate, you need quattro. You definitely need quattro for that, boss. Cheese and bread. So with this being the base spec in terms of Audi's trim level, like I said, you've got your normal coupe edition and you've got the sport edition and you've got the Vorsprung edition. This does not have magnetic ride, and for me, I could probably get away with it day to day because I'm not that bad, but for the more mature gentlemen, like I had my mum in the car, I picked her up and dropped her home just to show off to her, mum, I got a new car, like she'd clocked that, it ain't my car, she knows how much I earn, she knows I'm not ready for this. But she straight away said, Tim, it's very crashy. And that's something I didn't notice until she said, because it hasn't got the magnetic ride, it's just firm, or it's just medium to firm throughout. And like I said, when you're pushing on, it's perfect. I won't say perfect, it's close to perfect, but day to day, on non-ideal roads, this will begin to put your back out, because it is a tad on the firm side for what I would like for day-to-day comfort. But again, you're paying for an RS model. It's not aimed at day-to-day comfort, it's aimed at those people that love the nice B-road blast on the weekend and maybe a track day every now and then. But this will be something that I'd really love to test out on a track day, because they always say all-wheel drive, understeer central, but I've yet to notice that even in damp conditions. So that could be on the cards, so stay tuned for that. Something that I hear a lot is that this is known as an 8-second car. So those of you that are YouTube enthusiasts and watch quite a bit of YouTube will know that there are people on there who put, I don't know how much money into it, but not a lot, and already you're getting an 8-second car. Because this thing here is one of those engines that wants to be opened up. So the 2.5 litre, it's a no-brainer. Like the sound, the ASD is sure it's a bit on the intrusive side, but this is 2022, guys. It's 2022. I was gonna say 2021. This is 2022. Like, you won't find a car that's actually got a decent sound, but they've managed to nail this so well. And the confidence it gives you, like in these not so great conditions, is insane. Doesn't even, and the torque, where the torque comes in, you don't even need to keep flipping through the paddles. Keep it in third and just wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Now it's feeding it in so smoothly, so smoothly. So other than needed magnetic ride, this thing, this thing here is an absolute weapon. And like I said, third gear is all you need. Don't need to play around with the gearbox. Third gear is where this car should live. And that's what I would say. If you want to get the most out of this car, third gear, B road, third, fourth, and just listen to that lovely 5-pot sing. So to end, 60k going for a replacement for the M2 over the M240, and this is the M240, the F22, not the new one, because I've yet to drive it, even though that'll probably make a better comparison where it is going to be 4-wheel drive. This could tick a box for me. This could definitely, and it feels more ready, because the M2 out of the box felt ready for a good B-road blast, and this for me just feels out of the box perfect. And again, it's the all-weather system that it's got. I don't know whether I'll call it all-weather system, the all-wheel drive. It just makes things so easy, so safe, and I can kind of understand why people call them straight line warriors. But this thing here, I've chucked it around a few roundabouts, and like I said, no understeer whatsoever. So 60 grand, maybe used, I'd be after 100%. Ease, keyword ease, and the howling hoover. Guys, before I end the video, I've also got to say a big shout out to Audi UK Press for lending me this vehicle. But as usual, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Hopefully not oversteering into something due to the confidence that this thing has given me. Point it in, power. Insane, absolutely insane. Take care guys, see you soon.